So I recently found out that Peta, the animal people, they released their own version of the Bible. Now you might be wondering, what does that really mean? I don't know, I haven't read it. We're going to find out though. So like I was saying, Peta recently released their own version of the Bible. I don't actually know how recent. I didn't do very much research into this. But I saw this, I had to talk about it. Peta has released their own version of the Bible, and what it is the tale of Genesis told through a vegan lens. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. The AI overview talks about how it is a rewriting of Genesis from a PETA point of view, trying to convert people into being vegan. Now, that already sounds terrible. What is also terrible is it says that they wrote this using ChatGPT. Now, you can have your own opinions about ChatGPT, whatever. I don't think it's a trustworthy source to be translating the Bible. Now, as Christians, we are not, like, the idea of somebody translating the Bible to match their own ideology is not new. I mean, we don't have to look very far. If you know, you know. Video on this guy coming out. Hopefully not too long. But I think this one might be even more egregious. So what are we going to do today? I'm going to read the Peta Bible, and I'm going to compare it to 4 different Bible translations. So what I have here, and why I think this is going to work out great, so we got the King James Version. Widely trusted. Feel how you do about it. A lot of people trust it. Good translation to compare it to. The New International Version. The most read Bible on the planet at this point in time. The Living Bible, which is the predecessor to the New Living Bible, except this one is considered to be a paraphrase. So we got a paraphrased Bible up against a paraphrased Bible. I don't know, we'll have to see which paraphrase is better. And then we have the Revised Standard Version, which at the point in time when this book came out, this is before all of the new, the new revisions to the Revised Standard Version. So this was considered to be a very trusted source. This would have been the ESV of back in the day. Now, I was going to do a Catholic Bible, because as you guys know, I'm Catholic. I mean, it covers all the bases. So we're just going to roll with this. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to give Peta $4 of my hard-earned money in order to get access to this Bible translation. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not endorse piracy. Now, don't get me wrong. I looked into piracy, and there's no piracy to be found. However, this is just what we got to do for the content, y'all. All right, so ordered the Bible. Had to give Peta $4 of my hard-earned money for this hot garbage. However, already we are encountering issues with this terrible organization. So unfortunately, I did have to give Peta $4 of my hard-earned money for this actual garbage. Literal trash. But how I get to it, it says processing. I don't know what is processing. Like if I ordered a book on like Kindle or like Audible, I would have it right now. But this says processing, and I don't really know what that means. Why can't I access my book? I gave you money. All right, we finally got her operational. I'm going to read a bit, and I'm going to pull you guys up when I find some heresy. I'm sure it won't be long. All right, time to flip on open to good old Genesis in the Parallel Bible. We'll see how many we'll keep track of how long it takes for us to completely step away from the Word of God. We'll see. All right, so I got the Parallel Bible opened. I got this guy open right next to me. We're going to start reading, and we'll see how long it takes until we have departed from the actual Bible. See you guys in a second. Okay, so I've read 3 lines. We've already completely departed. So, this opens up. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Good. Pretty much follows the rest of these translations verbatim. And the earth was without a form, void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit, this is all pretty good. Here we go. And the Spirit of God moved upon the waters, thinking, you know what this place needs? A good tofu scramble. Not joking. This is how they open the story of Genesis. Right there. So that's a bit of a departure. We'll go ahead, hop into a reading from one of these translations. I'm between New International or Living Bible. They're obviously not going very word for word. So I think a paraphrase against paraphrase would be good here. All right, so Genesis as read in the Living Bible, paraphrase against paraphrase. When God begun creating the heavens and the earth was first, tongue twister, a shapeless, chaotic mass with the Spirit of God brooding over the dark. Then God said, let there be light. We have completely departed from that already. So that part is completely different than this. Obviously, nothing about tofu scramble in the actual Bible. So we've already completely departed. I'm going to jump to the next part here. We'll read that and see how long it takes. But also, if you guys don't believe me, you think I'm being dramatic for the video, literally opens the thing. Literally opens it with the tofu scramble. You can't make this up. So I'm going to read a little bit more and I'll jump back into it when I find another part that departs from the rest of the Bible. I don't know how long we're going to do this for, because if it happened that fast, like what I expected was like the fruit was going to be a pork chop and the animal skins were going to be like, I don't know, bamboo leaves or something. I don't know. But they're jumping right into it. We haven't even got that far. So I'll see you in a second. We'll see where we're at. And we're back. You can't make this up. I've barely read ahead. So we were just at what did we just read? This place could use a really good tofu scramble. Okay, so then it says, God said, let there be light, and there was blah, blah, blah. And then it immediately jumps into, so God saw the light was good. He divided the light from the darkness. That's all good. That's all correct. We get done with that. And then God shouted in a sweet baritone voice, let there be meatless Monday. Okay, let there be meatless Monday. I'm going to see if I can, we'll jump to a different translation and see if we can find any mention of meatless Monday. We can't, but we'll do it anyways. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. God saw the light was good, and separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. This is the New International Version also. And there was evening and morning the first day. And God said, let the... Okay, so. God doesn't even name it Monday. Much less meatless Monday. So we're going to keep jumping in. We're going to keep reading. This is already getting way worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be nice and simple and easy. Like a couple things here and there. I expected it to be more like the New World Translation, where there were just going to be a couple things changed here and there to like better fit their ideology. This is a complete, like this is a parody of the Bible at this point. So this is no good, very bad. Okay, I'm not gonna linger on this one too long. We're on day 2, Tofu Tuesday. I think they're going to name every day some witty pun. So Tuesday is Tofu Tuesday. Very good. Okay, so this part I'm a little lost on. and it was ensuring that farmers had ample space to grow crops for humans and animals alike. Humans haven't, like, they don't exist yet, so I don't know. Are we changing the timeline? I haven't read far enough ahead, but we're talking about we're on the third day now, I believe. It's written very stupid. Of course, it was written by AI, so I'm having a little bit of a hard time tracking exactly what day we're on and like what's going on. But God has separated the land from the sea, and now we're talking about humans and farmers, but there's no humans or farmers yet. So I don't know what's going on, but we'll keep reading and we'll keep investigating what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. Very confused. So I skipped too far ahead. I shouldn't have stopped my last video, because the next bit is also some Peta stuff. I don't even know what to call it. I don't know what to call these little interjections they're making. So, talks about farmers had ample space to grow crops for humans and animals alike, and then it goes, because let's face it, there's more enough to go around if we just all eat plants. And God called the dry land earth. Okay. I can't even... Like, I can check and make sure that there's no mention of us all just eating plants. I know there isn't. Let's see. There's no like verse numbers or anything in this, so it's a little bit difficult to follow along with. We're in the Living Translation or the Living Bible. Let the water beneath the sky be gathered into oceans, so that the dry land will emerge. And so it was. Then God named the dry land earth, and the water sea, and he was pleased, and he said, let the earth burst forth. See, so there's no mention of humans and farmers because they don't exist yet. We're not there. There's no mention of farming at all. At this point, plants aren't even here. So they're talking about farming plants that don't exist yet, for humans that don't exist yet, and animals that don't exist yet. It's not only terrible because they're changing the Bible to meet their message. They're not even like doing it well, but we'll keep reading and we'll keep seeing what we can find. Okay, so here we are. So we're making the plants and the animals. In the Peta translation, it says, now it's time to create some animals humans can respect and protect, not eat and mistreat. And God yelled, let the earth bring forth grass, herb yielding seeds, fruit. Yeah. So, I can't remember. Do the animals come before the grass? I don't think animals come before the grass, so our timeline is moved around here. Beneath the sky, yeah. Seas. Let the earth burst forth with every sort of grass and seed-bearing plant and fruit trees with seeds inside the fruit, so needs can protect. No, it doesn't say anything about animals yet. There aren't any animals yet. The animals have not come forth yet. No, next is seasons. There's no animals yet. So we're talking about animals early. Makes sense for Peta Bible. Their whole thing is animals, and they hate plants. No, they don't hate plants, but they eat plants. But they're talking about animals out of step. It just makes the whole thing very confusing and very convoluted to read. Like, I'm having more trouble understanding this Bible than I do the King James, which is a problem. That's a problem. because I don't understand the King James when I read it, so it's just like I don't really know what they're doing. But anyways, we'll keep trudging along. But yeah, it seems like they're really into adding these little. I don't know if they think it's funny. I don't know if they thought anything. Like, I don't know if a human ever proofread this or anything. This might just be like AI being AI. But so far we have our timeline all mixed up. God saying things that God never said. They're trying to be funny. We might skip past this and I'll just bump through the highlights. I won't be pointing out every single one now because it seems like there's way more than I anticipated. Again, I thought there was going to be like subtle changes here and there for me to point out. No, it's every passage is changed. So I might just jump out some highlights. All right, we didn't get very far. So it's talking about the fruits of the earth, blah, 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 came into existence. And it was so. And he thought, plants. Now there's a sustainable food source. The earth brought forth grass and herbs, providing a bountiful, cruelty-free buffet for all of his beings, which made God chuckle with delight as he watched the future vegans in the making. That is how they end off this page. God chuckling about the future vegans in the making. I'm ready for page 2, but yeesh, page 1 was really bad. It was really bad. I think I'm going to read the whole next page, and then we'll jump into it, and we'll talk about what's wrong with that one. But this one's very bad. I didn't expect it to be so bad. They really are trying to mold God in their image. Like, they're trying to mold God to match their ideology, which is one of the worst possible things you can do. And it's much less subtle than I expected. I understand they're Peta and they're known for like being bombastic and doing things very openly. I didn't expect this. At all. I probably should have, but no, this is really bad. But we're going to jump to the next page and see what happens. Maybe they'll convert me yet. Maybe I will be a vegan after this, because that's what God really wants. After all, he smiled and said, like, I can't even compare that to anything, because they just added that. Like, it's not like they replaced it or tweaked a word. Like, I thought I'd be able to compare more. They're just adding stuff. So there's no comparison to really be made. But, all right, we'll jump right into the next page. See you in a second. All right, I'm just going to let you listen to this one. This is crazy.
Evening and the morning were the third day, and God started brainstorming ideas for Wheatgrass Wednesday. Then God said, we need some mood lighting. So he created the sun, moon, and stars to give the earth a little ambience. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness, and God saw that it...
Okay. Need a little mood lighting. Funny. Sure. What? So, brought lights to the sky. Huge lights to the moon. We have cut huge sections of this. I mean, huge sections. Again, it's hard to track because there's no verse numbers or anything. Obviously, it's just like an AI thrown together garbage, but it's really bad. Yeah, we're just skipping huge sections of the Bible here, and we're spending more time on making quips than we are telling the story, which isn't shocking, but it is the creation of the universe. I don't know why we're trying to... Never mind. We're just going to keep rolling. This is really bad. I'm starting to run out of words for how bad this is. Okay, now we've gotten into exactly what I expect from Peta. God is at this moment creating the animals. We're going to let it play, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. I expected the first kind of heresy to appear here. It turns out it's the entire book. But this is where I expected it to start. So we're gonna listen to this one together, react at the same time, and see what they got to say.
Then God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving beings who have life." But he quickly added, "Just to be clear, they're not for eating, folks." So God created brilliantly colored fish and majestic marine animals, all happily swimming in the sea, free from fishing nets and curious humans' taste buds. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day, and God dubbed it Faux Fish Friday. After all, there's nothing wrong with a little imitation. And God, at this point, completely jazzed from the thrill of creation, said, "Hey, let's get some more wildlife on this planet." So he created a plethora of even more animals, each unique and fascinating, and they all roamed the earth without fear, for they knew they were off the menu. He created animals of all shapes and sizes to live harmoniously with humans. Everyone marveled at their beauty and grace, and not a single thought of fur coats crossed their minds. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day, and God announced, "Soy Milk Saturday, anyone?"
Okay. God was completely jazzed on the thrill of creation. False Fish Friday. After all, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of imitation. What? I would be interested. I don't know. I don't think they are going to release a whole Bible. I don't think that. They might. They might. If they do, I would like to see what they do when Jesus feeds an entire crowd of, 5,000 people with fish and bread. Like, what do they got to say about that? Are they just going to replace the fish with faux fish? Like, what are they going to do about that? Now, I'm going to pull up a different translation and play it aloud, starting from the same point we were just at. It just makes more sense that way, since I'm dyslexic and I can read in my head, but when I try to read out loud, it's no good. But we're going to let's do the New International Version, and I'll play it aloud, and you guys can see the differences. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to listen to Genesis 20 in this, and then we're going to listen to Genesis 20 in the New International Version. Here we go.
Then God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving beings who have life." But he quickly added, "Just to be clear, they're not for eating, folks."
Okay, fantastic. Let's read here.
New International Version. And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky."
So we've only talked about fish. I don't know if they're adding more after this, but yeesh. All right, so we are currently in the portion of the Bible where the first animals come in. It starts with the fish. As we all know, it starts with fish. So we're going to start in the Peta Bible. And we're just going to listen to this. And then we're going to listen to the same parts in the NIV.
And the evening and the morning were the fourth day, which God decided to call Tempe Thursday. It had a nice ring to it. Then God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving beings who have life." But he quickly added, "Just to be clear, they're not for eating, folks." So God created brilliantly colored fish and majestic marine animals, all happily swimming in the sea, free from fishing nets and curious humans' taste buds. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day, and God dubbed it Faux Fish Friday. After all, there's nothing wrong with a little imitation. And God, at this point, completely jazzed from the thrill of creation, said, "Hey, let's get some more wildlife on this planet." So he created a plethora of even more animals, each unique and fascinating, and they all roamed the earth without fear, for they knew they were off the menu. He created animals of all shapes and sizes to live harmoniously with humans. Everyone marveled at their beauty and grace, and not a single thought of fur coats crossed their minds. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day, and God announced, "Soy Milk Saturday."
Okay. We have lots of issues there. I'm going to talk about them, and then we're just going to listen to the NIV. Obviously, one of the major issues is they are literally putting words in God's mouth. Things that God never said in the Bible, they're adding to their Bible. Obviously terrible. Can't do that. No good. Very bad. Awful. Literally making God in their own image. Terrible sin. Heresy. No good. Also, we're still getting timelines mixed up. Everyone looked upon them and marveled on their beauty. Who looked upon? There's no people. There's no people. There was no thought of fur coats in mind. Of course not. There are no people. So our timeline is messed up. So it's not even like telling the story well. It's just, again, it's just a parody, but not even a well done parody. So we're going to listen to the same passage starting at 20, and then I don't even really know where we ended off. There's no verse numbers, and things are so different that it's not like I can follow along in a normal Bible. That's why I kind of gave up on this, like reading straight out the Bible, because what am I going to do? So we got YouVersion opened up, and we're just going to listen to the same, or no, sorry. Here we go. So we're just going to listen to the same passage we just listened to, but out of a respected translation instead of whatever you want to call this. So this is Genesis 1:20.
And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." And God said, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens."
This is
So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. So God created the great sea creatures and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarm, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth." And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day.
So, I believe that was the NIV, what is it, like the NIV 2020, and then the NIV, what is it, like 1978? I don't remember what the two different NIVs are. Oh, no, it's the NIV and the English Standard Version were those two translations we just listened to. Obviously, neither of them sound anything like the Peta Bible. But they're just doing weird stuff, like they're naming the days. Nothing about nothing in the Bible about naming the days. Obviously, there's nothing about not touching the animals. There's obviously nothing about fur coats and things of that nature. Like, it's just, again, it's so not close. It's hard to, it's almost hard to like deal with. Like, it's so not close. It's almost, I don't know. It's one of the most heretical things I've ever read. It's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. Anyways, I took extra time to point this out because obviously this is God creating the animals. This is Peta's whole shtick. You know, I thought that they would have some things to say about this, and of course they did. I'm going to just let it burn through now. I'm going to read a couple more pages, and I'll stop at next thing that's like really standing out to me, but I can't keep pausing at every single little deviation because there's so many. I just can't. All right, I'm going to see you guys in a bit. Okay, not super bad. I'm not going to read it verbatim. Where I just got, God just now created man, but literally right before that, sorry, I have peanuts in my mouth, I've been eating. Literally right before that, it was talking about how God looked down on the earth and was pleased at his creation where both man and animal can live, what did they say, in harmony? I'm not going to scroll back and find it. That's what they said. And now man is being created. Again, timeline completely scuffed. You can tell this is ChatGPT. And it doesn't even seem like it's the newest ChatGPT. This seems like an old model on somebody's phone. This is really bad. Again, not just for how heretical it is, but also for just like being a bad rendering of the Bible. I don't know that a human proofread this because the timeline is so out of whack. It's so out of whack, and we're barely in it. I reckon we'll go a little bit longer, and we'll see what else we can find. But this is so far still terrible. Okay, so I called it almost verbatim. Book says, "Of every tree in the Garden of Eden, thou may freely eat, but if you ever think of touching one of those animals, well, that's just crossing the line." So it seems like they are setting up for the cliche vegan plot twist of the fruit isn't evil, the eating of meat is evil. So, I don't know. Very predictable. Just figured I'd point it out while we're reading. Forget everything I just said. So that we're totally setting it up for eating the animal to be the first sin. But now it says, "Remember, thou shalt not eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, for in the day thou do, thou shalt surely die." So they were setting up. It seems like they were setting up for the animal. Then, next page happened. ChatGPT forgot that's how they set it up, and they're just right back to the fruit tree. So, I'm on page 4 of 75. Yeah. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you my conclusion. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. Obviously, in conclusion, this is awful. This is awful. They are making God in their image. They're making God in their image. They are twisting the words of Scripture to meet their ideology. It's a horrible sin. Not only are they doing that, they didn't even take the effort to do it well. Like, they didn't have an author sit down and do this. They pumped it into ChatGPT and made essentially unreadable garbage. So not only is it heresy, it's not even like fun heresy. It's terrible heresy. I just never thought I'd see the day where Peta is genuinely trying to rewrite the Bible. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. I genuinely believe this is like, I don't know. I just don't know how brainwashed. Like, are people sitting down and reading this? Is this a publicity stunt? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. But here's what I'll say. Remember, every time you see something like this, where somebody is attacking Christianity, or they're rewriting the Bible, or you see some celebrity on TV attacking your faith, just remember that the devil isn't going to spend time attacking other religions when he knows that they're already not on the right path. He's going to spend time attacking the true religion that will lead you to heaven, because his objective is to make you not get there. So every time you see something like this, just remember that this is just proof that you are on the right path. This is a horrible sin. This is a terrible thing that they did. It really is super bad. But at least it can be a little reminder that if the devil is working so hard to knock you off your path, you must be doing something right. If you guys want to see more of this Bible, let me know. I'll do a part 2. If you guys want me to read the whole thing, come back and give you a review, let me know. If you want me to read the whole thing and just highlight parts I thought were particularly terrible, let me know. This was just like a little first impression. Bought the book, read the book. It's bad. It's really bad. It's way worse than I thought it would be. But you guys let me know what you want. If you want a part 2, let me know. Let me know what you want that part 2 to look like. Anyways, y'all have a blessed day. Signing off.